Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the TweetCap. As always, I'm your host, Ryan, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you've probably already noticed something different. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, or now, as of today, iHeartRadio, you don't know this yet, but I'm going to reveal it to you. We have a bit of a roster switch. So, unfortunately, for the next few weeks, my co-host and founder of the Productive Conversations podcast, Matt Brown, is going to be predisposed on Thursday evenings. Thursday evenings, for those of you who don't know, are our typical recording night for the TweetCap. And so, moving forward, I will be going this treacherous journey alone with you all. But I've got some friends who, on occasion, are going to stop by and help me out. And today we have a fan of the show and second-time guest, Rocky Palomini. How you doing, Rocky?
Good, and you?
Oh, not so bad. So, like I said, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being our first guest host in this new era.
Think of me as Ken Jennings.
I will think of you as Ken Jennings. But I just want to say, obviously, for anyone who wants to know, Matt is going to come back on occasion. The Productive Conversations podcast has grown exponentially, which is awesome. And if you are a fan of interviews and really just learning more about people, everyday people, I would give it a listen on YouTube or anywhere you can find your podcasts, because it is really a good interview podcast. But if you're here for the news, then I shall be here to guide you along your way. But before we start, Rocky, I just wanted to ask, how's your trending been this week? Have you seen anything fun on Twitter this week?
I have. Do you want to start with my? Do you want to start my little game?
We could do whatever you want first. This is a new era here on the TweetCap.
So, I don't know if you saw, there was a certain celebrity trending yesterday, maybe 2 days. I think it was yesterday.
Was it Bad Bunny?
It was not Bad Bunny.
Oh man!
And she said something that warranted her to go on trending, and she took a screenshot of her on trending and said, "This is my literal worst nightmare." And then she wrote a quasi apology tweet chained to the actual tweet that got her in trouble. Okay. And so I'll play a little game. I'll read you her apology, and then I want you to guess what she did and who she is. Okay. It's not even really an apology, it's just like a defense.
So, that's always good. It's always best when you immediately play defense when you've made a mistake.
So she said, "Hey, not everything I say on my Twitter is going to be relatable to you, because it's my life, it's my Twitter, and my stories. Okay. I see your tweets. I get your jokes. You're funny. Yes, you really nailed me."
That's it. That's the entirety of what she said. And it is a female, or identifies as female.
It's a female celebrity.
Okay.
Sorry, do you want more?
Actress or actor, comedian, singer? Like,
honestly, I don't know. I don't know what she does.
Well, where would I find this person other than Twitter? Like TV, the movie theater, on Spotify?
I'm asking the co-counsel.
Okay.
TV.
Yes, say sidebar.
Here. Okay, how about those? Because this is impossible. So I didn't realize how
so it's TV. It's TV. That would leads me to believe it's either A, an actor, or B, a talk show.
A model.
A model as well. So it's probably more of the talk show route.
So here's the original tweet, and this isn't the one. This is what caused it.
Okay, let's hear what caused
it. That you thought sucked. That's what started this whole thing.
What did she say?
What's the most expensive thing you've eaten that you thought sucked?
I mean, it has to be someone really interesting for that to be what set this off, right?
Well, she answered it with her own experience, and
that's what people were upset about. Okay. So I was originally gonna say Alyssa Milano, but that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit with the supermodel and TV host. Oh man, who's got a like? I don't know,
it's someone that has a very prominent Twitter page.
It's not Tyra Banks, is it?
How about this now? Because this will give it away, kinda. I'll read you the tweet that got her in trouble.
Okay.
One time, John and I were at a restaurant, and the waiter recommended a nice Cabernet.
Yeah. Keep going.
We got the bill, and it was $13,000. How do you casually recommend that wine? We didn't even finish it. We had it cleared.
So this is obviously Chrissy Teigen and John Legend.
Yep. And people got mad because she literally ordered a $13,000 bottle of wine.
Well, actually, it sounds like she didn't pay for a $13,000 bottle of wine. That sounds like the bigger issue to me.
I think she paid for it.
I thought she
She
said
just
we had
didn't
it cleared.
like no, they like didn't finish it, and they just got it like busted. Like they just like dumped the rest.
I don't know. I took that to mean that since they didn't finish it, they refused to pay $13,000 for it.
No.
If that's what they did, then I get it.
I
I
think that
mean,
might be even worse than just accidentally buying a $13,000 bottle of wine.
oh,
Is
it's definitely worse. It's definitely it's definitely worse than buying a $30,000 bottle of wine. I mean, John Legend has a lot of money. Um,
Mhm.
if if John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, who actually also, by the way, has a lot of money, if they want to buy a bottle of wine that's $13,000, more power to them. I was actually just watching something on YouTube about whiskey, and there's some whiskeys that are like, you know, a down payment on a house, like $65,000 or
Mhm.
whatever. So people will pay a lot of money for alcohol. So the fact that they got an expensive wine isn't so bad. I mean, it's a bit, I would say, it's probably a bit wasteful, but I also don't have $13,000 burning a hole in my pocket or my savings or anywhere that I have access to anyway.
Mhm.
So maybe in debt, but but I don't think you can buy wine with that. So I think that I don't know. I would have to look into it, but it sounds to me like the issue is that they tried not to pay for it because they didn't realize how expensive it was, and that's not cool. Like I get it's a lot of money, but just check the price before you
Instead of
order
that
it.
one bottle of wine, do you want to guess how many pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks you could buy?
Why did you do this calculation? I'm just curious.
I was looking I specifically because I was gonna like compare it to things you could buy for 13 grand.
Hmm.
And that's a literal car. You can buy literal cars for $13,000.
I know.
But I thought that's kind of boring to just say a car because that's pretty obvious. So I just Googled
Hmm.
things over $1,000 and multiplied by 13.
Okay, so all right, so what is the pumpkin spice
So
latte?
one bottle of legend wine
Is
is
that what
equal
they're calling it now?
they
Legend wine?
is equal to guess how many pumpkin spice lattes?
Jeez, I don't even know what a pumpkin spice latte goes for. Is that bad? I'm gonna assume the pumpkin spice latte. Well, what size? That
I don't
matters.
know. I don't know.
I'm gonna assume it's probably what?
We'll just say medium, whatever that's
We'll
called.
round it to $4. No,
Hmm.
that's not enough, right? $4. That's like a large, isn't it? That can't be what the actual cost is. Hold on. Times. Oh, oh no, it's not times.
3,055.
Hold on. Why would you give it away? I'm doing the math. I have the
You
calculator
were
out and
taking too
everything.
long.
I took the
I was
calculator out. I was getting ready to
what
do
were
the
you going to
actual math.
say? Because I can
I
tell
don't
you.
know. I had to use the calculator. That was the whole point.
Fine. How many Billy Joel concerts could you
No,
see?
now I got to get more. Now I got to find more costs. I had to look up the price of the pumpkin spice. This was a bit of a process. How many pumpkin spice lattes?
3,000.
35, 3,055.
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, if you're comparing now, I'd rather spend the money on wine than on that many pumpkin spice lattes.
I mean,
But
you don't
I'd
get them
rather
all
get
at once.
right.
You don't
I'd rather get
buy a
more.
swimming pool.
I'd rather know how many other bottles of wine I could get for the cost of that
I
one
mean,
bottle of wine. That
what
would
would
be
you
far
say?
more effective. How much Red Cat?
Well, I
Uh,
was going to say like $13,000 bottles of Red Cat.
13,000. That's what I want to know. I want to get the Red Cat equivalent. But well, thank you for that. And as far as Chrissy Teigen goes, I actually like Chrissy Teigen. If they paid for the wine, it's their money. They can use it when they need it.
Yep.
But if they didn't pay for the wine, that's not okay, and they should have paid for the wine. I will say that. I will make that bold statement, despite liking both Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, that they should have paid for the wine.
Seems like a weird flex to me.
I mean, I guess, but who knows? Maybe someday. we'll know what
Maybe,
it's like to
maybe someday.
accidentally spend $13,000 on a bottle of
Exactly.
wine. Well, mine is far more serious than yours. Sorry, but bear with me. This is breaking news. It's been breaking. Well, I mean, it's been trending all week, but it officially broke today. So, for anyone who's been on Twitter, you've probably seen the name Marjorie Taylor Greene. You've probably seen her all over the internet. And she's probably not only just Twitter, it's probably on Parler if that's your thing, or Reddit or Facebook. She's everywhere. She's gotten a lot of publicity recently because of some of her past comments, which range from, just general misinformation about the presidential election this year, to, Jewish space lasers causing the California forest fires, which I thought was an interesting one. And then, of course, last but not least, probably the worst among them was advocating violence against several prominent Democrats. All of this before, all of this before she was actually ever elected to the United States House of Representatives. So today, as of 10 minutes ago, she's no longer on any committees in the United States House of Representatives. So I've gotten messages from a lot of people actually today because I'm everyone's news junkie. So they turn to me in their time of need, asking, why did they do this? Why did the Democrats do this? Going from shouldn't have been removed because it was before she was in Congress to she's out forever. None of it's true. So I wanted to just break down what actually happened in terms of the process. So the process is this. The entire Congress can get together and vote on a resolution. If the resolution passes, it becomes binding. So, in a bipartisan vote, there were 11 Republicans who signed on to this, and of course, all of the Democrats in the House of Representatives. They signed a resolution, which is binding, stating that she should be removed from all of her committees. This came after her party leadership, who has the first priority over committee assignments, refused to take her off of them. He did condemn what she did and condemned what she said, but said it didn't warrant removal from committees. So, what does warrant removal from committees? It obviously depends, but I did some research. The last time we removed somebody from a committee, it was in 2002, a Democrat from Ohio named Jim Trafficante. That's a real name. And Congressman Trafficante, he lost his committee privileges because he stopped voting with the Democrats. So that's it. That's all he had done to lose his committee privileges. He was voting with the Republicans, so the Democrats took him off of their committees. He then, of course, was arrested for corruption and expelled from the United States House of Representatives, but that came after he lost his committee privileges. So that's just a clarification. There's a difference between expulsion and what happened today. She has not been expelled. So if you're one of those people, I would say there's not that many of you, but one of those people who believes that this is a little harsh, fear not. She's still a voting member of the United States House of Representatives. Her platform has not been greatly diminished, just her legislative ability. She's no longer going to have a say in committee before it gets to the House floor. If you think this should have been more, maybe a little bit more strict, a little bad news there. We've never removed anyone from their position without actually convicting them of a crime. This includes the first wave of removals, which happened after the Civil War. They were removed for treason. However, they were also convicted of treason after the Civil War. There was 14 of them. And obviously, nobody has been convicted of treason after the Capitol riots, which is kind of what started all of this. So I wanted to make that clarification first before I got into it. Rocky, you don't have to get into too much of this, but your thoughts on less what happened. I don't want to talk too much about what happened because what happened is just news. But more your thoughts on the wacky ravings, I guess is what I'll call them. You can call them something different, of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, what Mitch McConnell call her, a Looney Tune?
Did he? I didn't hear that, but he's not wrong.
I think she's been called a Looney Tune before, and
it's kind. I think
that is kind. This might be controversial.
Oh boy,
I don't believe in Jewish space lasers.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that right now. I think she might be wrong on this one.
I think she's wrong on most of them.
Well, yeah, most of them. Yeah,
I think she's batting over essentially with this.
I say get rid of the crazies.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just I found it interesting because I really thought, with how partisan Congress is, when I did my research, I was going to find a lot of cases of people being removed from committee.
I heard she
Um,
apologized though.
she never publicly apologized. So the her party leader, the Kevin McCarthy, who's the leader of the Republican Party in the House, said that privately, when they discussed what happened, she apologized after he told her that she had to accommodate a greater standard now that she was elected to the United States House of Representatives. Again, I'm actually okay with some of that, but once you advocate for violence, you really don't get a mulligan on that. I might even give. No, I wouldn't. The space laser thing is super racist, or not racist. It's anti-Semitic. So no, I'm not going to give her a pass on that. But some of the election stuff, honestly, even though it's all a crock, and she's insane for thinking it, if that's all she had done was just jump on the Trump train, talk about how fake everything was, then yes, a stern talking to with a you can't act like a Looney Tune, to quote Mitch McConnell, when you're a member of the House. I can almost see that being an acceptable response. But I mean, the anti Semitism alone is enough to warrant an actual punishment. And then when you throw in the actual calls for violence, and this is not like, she was a young kid either, she was still running for the House in 2018. So most of these comments, she was still in the public eye. She just hadn't been elected yet. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
not like, this is
it's like
a college kid who got a little hyper at a rally on their campus that, now that they're 40 years old, they're like, listen, because you don't want to be held accountable for things that you did uh, a long time ago if you've genuinely changed. But I
Mhm.
don't believe she's genuinely changed from when she
Right.
ran this year.
That's the question is like should Congress people like have to deal with the stuff they made in the past after they've already taken office? Like should that stuff be relevant, their comments, like before they were elected? Because things can change, people's
Well,
ideas
they should
change.
be relevant while they're being elected, ideally.
Well, yes, but
But
I mean, like the question is like, can you even like not can you even take someone off a committee for something they said in the past? Although not everything she said was in the past, but some
well,
of it.
right. That's
So,
well, that's
but
part
like,
of the issue. She's just been doing
you
this for so long. It's kind of hard to use her as
know,
a viable case study, because even if you try and parse saying, "Oh, well, you can't use that," you can't use that. Like the Parkland video, she was a private citizen. I don't believe she was running for office, um, that I know of. So when she, harassed those 17-year-olds on the street, was she, being horrible? Yes. Should it matter? I would say yes. Others would say no. But in this particular case, we have the added benefit of her doing it from, you know, 2016 all the way through to 2021, pretty much unabated. So this is pretty, I don't know, this is pretty closed. I think for me, I'm sure she will fight it.
she
She,
did call the shooting real now, by the way. I
yeah,
don't
and
know,
she, and she, I think she
it
took
is
back
real.
at one point. She said that,
She took
at
back the
one point,
QAnon stuff too.
yeah, okay. At one point, okay. At one point, at one point she had said that the Las Vegas shooting was done by the Democrats to increase support for gun control and gun restrictions within the Second Amendment movement. Because why else would a country concert be targeted? That was her logic. And another time, she went ahead and suggested that Hillary Clinton had murdered, not suggested actually, she said this outright, had murdered John Kennedy Jr. to prevent him from running for Senate in New York so she could become a senator and set herself up to run for president in the future. So again, she may have apologized for some things. She may have apologized for everything, but she didn't do it publicly. And also, again, she's just she's just so far gone.
Hmm.
She, so somebody was watching a YouTube video, and someone was like, she represents a district just north of or just, I think, just shy of Atlanta, and views just shy of reality. So unfortunately for Marjorie Greene, she's going to have to wait. I don't even know if she gets reelected. I don't know how that works. That's something I haven't seen a lot of because, like I said, the last time we did this, the man was eventually arrested and expelled from
Hmm.
the House. Obviously, nothing has come up that would cost her freedom, as far as I know. No crimes. Nice shelf, by the way. But
I think my plug fell
I
out.
see Rob there. I see Rob.
Oh yeah, there's a Rob. Right below it's the Cyberpunk Xbox. But yeah,
Ah.
cord keeps falling out. Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, I know. I don't think that she's done anything as of this moment that's going to wind her up in jail. So this means, and this was something else somebody asked me, because there's a lot of talk about the impeachment of Trump and him not being able to run for office, any office ever again, if convicted. Nothing that happened today is going to prevent her from running for re-election, I don't believe. But I don't know if she ends up winning that re-election. I don't know. Is she still banished from committees? Does it matter who the leader is? Do they have to put a new resolution each and every year? I don't know how that works. But regardless, just to, the clarifying point, yes, she's insane. No, she's not been kicked out of office. Do with that information as you will.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Like I said, I wanted there to be a lot to happen this week, actually, because it was our first TweetCap sans Matt, but not really much happened. Royal Rumble was Sunday, but we already talked about that. And if you haven't heard that already, go to Productive Conversations podcast. Listen to me and Matt and AJ, another wrestling fan from New Jersey, no less, talk about the Royal Rumble and wrestling in general. But is there any? I know there was one other story that you told me you wanted to talk about.
There is one other story that's
a bit
near
of
and dear
a
to my heart.
interesting one. A bit of an interesting one. So why don't you go ahead and take over that one?
Okay, so I'll set the scene.
Oh,
those
boy.
who don't know,
Paint a picture.
Resident Evil is a video game series that's been going on since the 90s. They are considered one of the best horror games in the whole genre of video games, and they are known for having great villains, great scenes, and pretty fun gameplay. Well, the new Resident Evil is coming out, and the creators released the villain for the newest Resident Evil game, and it's a vampire woman.
It's good.
And I don't know her name. I don't even know if she has a name. And this magical vampire lady happens to look not like a monster. She looks like an actual human, and the internet became quickly infatuated with her. Well, up to a point. So that's like, okay, that's fine. Like, people were making fan art and whatnot, saying how much they loved her. And then the developers caught on, and they're like, oh, this is really neat. We never had people love a villain so much. Like, so they put in a tweet, and they're like, thank you for all the artwork. Like, we really appreciate it. Here's some, we've gotten some questions from the community about her. So we thought we'll address her right now. The villain is 9'6". And then other stuff, but who cares about that? Like, 9'6". She's a human or a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got 2 feet on Master Chief when Master Chief's in his armor. So yeah,
that's a tall video game character.
He's tall.
No, he's tall. Yeah. So I mean, she must be She is 9 feet tall. That's ginormous.
So a bunch of tweets came out about people wanting to just have her embrace you.
Gotcha. There's some sick.
Nothing bad.
Sick
like
puppies.
just like laying on top of her. Like,
that's bad.
No, not like that. It wasn't like that.
I've seen the pictures. It's bad. You gave me heads up. It is my show.
But 9 feet tall. I don't know where that came from, and I also don't know how that's going to work in game, because that's going to be really weird.
Well, I mean, so you'll have to. I don't know if you play the games or not, so you have to help me. Is Conehead or Pyramid Head rather? Is Pyramid Head a member of the Resident Evil group? Or is that Silent Hill?
That's Silent Hill.
Okay. Well, he's tall.
Do you remember? This is gonna be a throwback.
Okay.
Back in college, when I had the PSVR, you played a horror game on the PSVR.
Oh God, I don't remember anything about that. I had my eyes closed the whole time.
That was Resident Evil.
Oh, with the
crazy
family, the cannibal family.
That was the last. That was actually the most recent Resident Evil game. That was Resident Evil 7. This is Resident Evil 8.
I mean, that's terrifying. I don't like horror games. All right, I shouldn't say that. There's one that I like, but it's so glitchy that I can't ever play it with you or anyone. And it's
I know we can
not Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I was right. Dead by Daylight, which means I can only ever play as one of the monsters because I can never be a survivor in it. I mean, it's almost better because you've seen me play horror games.
Mm-hmm.
The cheeky screams that a lot of like YouTube content creators do when they're playing a horror game. And it's like, oh, that's so fake. It is legitimate for me. And I like my family has seen it. All of my friends have seen it. If I actually played a horror game, those would be my 100% legitimate reactions to a horror game.
Her name's Lady Dimitrescu.
So I always wonder if she would be less scary because it looks so human.
Because she looks so human.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the tall thing is going to be creepy. Not because she's tall, but because 9 feet is too tall for anyone.
Exactly.
9 feet tall is too tall. That's scary tall, especially for someone like me who clocks in at 5'9", 5'10" if I get up on my toes. 9 feet is a tall person.
That is a tall
to have to contend with. Is this one in VR too, or is this one just normal?
I don't know if they've announced. I'm not sure.
This is a VR. That's what you have to look up, and that'd be very scary to look up at a towering 9-foot witch. But I don't understand why people.
Comparison, the tallest human ever was 8'11".
All right, you know what? I mean, they're clocking in and almost as tall as the witch. They're not far off.
Mm-hmm.
They're not far off.
LeBron is 6'9". So she's got literally 3 feet on LeBron.
If Matt Brown is watching this, he's gonna be so proud. LeBron James is the benchmark for everything: celebrity, wealth, sports.
It's like that one picture of him holding like the water bottle. Have you seen that?
Apparently, height. Yeah, well, LeBron James is the benchmark. Everything has to be measured in LeBron James.
Yeah. So
he's approximately 1 1/3 LeBron.
Exactly.
I don't know. What's your favorite horror game?
Favorite horror game?
Yeah, since you brought him up, I said mine because it's the only one where I get to be the monster and I don't have to run for my life.
Can I say Luigi's Mansion?
I mean, that's kind of a cop out, but if you want to say Luigi's Mansion, you can say Luigi's Mansion. Yeah,
I'm gonna say Luigi's Mansion. I love that game. Not scary.
Horror game.
Actually, I take that back. When I was, whenever that game came out, I was in like elementary school.
Oh, and especially when you died and the lightning flashed and the
yeah, Mario straight up put in a painting. It was great.
Yeah, no, there were some creepy parts of Luigi's Mansion, especially when we were younger and the game came out. But speaking of scary, it's just been announced that the founder of Wall Street Bets is going to have a movie made after him. I said it was never going to happen. If you listen to last week's episode, I was told by 3 other people that I was insane for thinking that.
Yep.
You privately told me I was insane for thinking that.
I told you like the next day, like, hey, they just got 2 movies like announced or something like that.
Yeah, but I can never trust you fully. But now it's trending, and I don't understand it. I'll have to see it, I guess. What did he do before this? To make a whole movie. This thing got wrapped up in what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? We've already moved on. We're kicking people, we're kicking people out of committees in the House of Representatives. Donald Trump is no longer a member of SAG. Up is down, down is up. Cats and dogs are living together. This has been a crazy week, and it's replaced Wall Street Bets almost entirely. GameStop's back down to a manageable number, so the hedge funds can sleep a little bit easier at night, knowing that their investments are no longer topsy-turvy. Robinhood is on the verge of extinction. Shout out to Publix, by the way. I'm officially almost all the way transferred into Publix, which is, by the way, an app. Social media mixed with stock market. So find me there at Page Profits. You can see what I'm investing in. It's not much, but it's there. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. This was a 3-week ordeal. How are they going to make a whole movie out of it?
I don't know. I mean, they've made movies out of less, though.
Furthermore, they're all trolls. I get it. They're going to say, we're going to stick it to, and they're going to have, whoever play the hedge fund manager at Melvin Capital. They're going to fabricate a meeting between those two. And, I get what they're going to do. I can see what story they're going to try and tell, but it's not actually true. They didn't do this.
I think they're also banking on it not being over.
I don't know how they could bank on that. It's very clearly over if you just look at the stock market.
Maybe they think someone's going to go to jail. I don't know.
Him? Could you imagine?
I don't know.
Hey, you're going to jail, but we'll make a movie. So if he goes to jail, I don't agree with that. How is it manipulation to tell all your friends to buy stock? Aren't you supposed to do that? Isn't that what companies want you to do? I mean,
I I
have you ever been referred a
I,
stock before?
I don't really. I've never talked stocks before. Like
I
I
haven't
didn't.
either, but like you're around people who do, right? Like you've seen people who have stocks. They talk about what they're buying and what's
Been
doing
told to
well.
invest in gold before, but I think you got that same advice.
Well, yeah, but no, but seriously, no one's ever told you about a stock that they've purchased
Honestly, not.
doing well.
I honestly don't think I talked about stocks that much before this.
I don't know. I personally have had people say, "Oh, you should do this," or "Don't do that. Stay away from this," or "Sell that." And I don't even like. I don't have that much in terms of money invested in this. So I don't ever act on it because it's usually irrelevant to me. But even with as limited amount of funds as I have in there, people still, when I say I have something, will just immediately give me some of their advice or tell me what their plan is or whatever. I tell people all the time because I have Royal Caribbean and
Mhm.
from a stock project. I tell people all the time about that stock project and why I have Royal Caribbean. It's the one I have the most money into, in fact, because it's the one that's most legitimate. Um, but the idea that he went on Reddit and said, "Hey guys, I have this fun idea. I think we can make some money off of GameStop." Just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, if someone told him, "Do GameStop, they're shorting it," like I guess, but I think it's pretty obvious, right? Like they've been shorting different stocks for years. It's
Well,
not
yeah,
like they just started doing it and he had the inside scoop, like,
but
"Oh, GameStop's next." They've been doing it forever.
I think this
So
one was special with the whole 125% extra, like over kind of thing. I
Well,
think this.
yeah, on the hedge funds part, yeah,
Yeah.
with what they did. But I'm saying it's not like he had to, venture a wild guess or have some sort of insider knowledge to know that GameStop was being was being shorted because
I
its
mean, people are
value is
probably
so
shorting
low.
Amazon right now.
What?
People are probably shorting Amazon right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's common knowledge, and again, it's a cheap stock. I would tell people to buy it. Be like, "Hey, buy GameStop." What was it?
Mhm.
$4?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyone could buy like 50 shares of that just with
Mhm.
pocket change. So
Yeah.
imagine if you had not pocket change to invest. But I just to me it's insane. Well, again, you're right. Someone's going to go to jail. It's probably going to be him, and at which point the movie will become significantly more interesting
It will.
and a lot longer. But if it's not him, I just don't see where the movie is.
I mean, they made two Wall Street movies. Just make Wall Street 3.
Well, those are fictional movies, though.
Well, then you have a third one now that's based in reality. I don't know. I never saw the Wall Street movie.
Though, yeah, completely fake. There's none. I don't think there's any truth to any of it. But I don't
Wolf
know.
of Wall Street then.
Wasn't Wall Street then?
No, Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah.
Make a
Well,
Wall Street 2
do you know how
GameStop.
long he did that for? Wasn't it years? I think he kept his scam up for years. Plus the drugs and stuff.
I've
You
never
know,
seen Wolf of Wall Street.
you should watch it. It's a very good movie. But
Oh,
the drugs and stuff, like the lifestyle that they lived, and the police had a special investigation. I just don't know. I mean, this whole thing wrapped up in 3 weeks. If they arrest him,
mhm.
I mean, then they'll have the entirety of the investigation. But unless he's like on the lam right now, which good on you for tweeting that you got a movie deal while you're running from the
Yeah,
police.
yeah.
I just don't see where the action of this movie is outside
I
of the
mean,
first first
in
hour.
the movie's defense, like they've made movies out of less. Like Groundhog's Day, the movie takes place over one day.
Well, it's one day repeated over and over again.
One
Speaking
day.
of Groundhog's Day, did you see? Somehow we saw a shadow in like 14 feet of snow.
Did you know? This is a fun fact. It's not just him seeing his shadow, and that Puxatawny Phil can actually talk, and he has a special language
Okay, Marjorie.
that. No, okay, this is actually real, and well, real, and that well, first of all, Puxatawny Phil has never died. He's like an infinite like
Well,
being, and
it's a different
well,
Groundhog.
no, and he can
Spoiler
talk,
alert, kids.
but he only talks to people that are trained in, I forget the name of the language. It's like Puxatawnese or something like that. And
I
he's
mean,
right.
I've seen rural Pennsylvania. I do believe they may speak a different language.
The thing is, the groundhog is right every single time, It's just the people that are interpreting what he's saying that are getting it wrong. So that's what they're doing. That someone's, just talking to the groundhog.
Who
And that
told you?
scene in his head, I was
Where
like,
did this come from?
I don't know. My mom told me her kids had to do a project on Groundhog's Day, and that was
And
what
she teaches
5th grade.
5th grade.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this: if you were in the United States House of Representatives, I would be voting to remove you from your committees.
That's probably not the only reason I should be removed.
But that's chief among them. I don't know. They killed the one. They didn't kill him. It was an accident. But then the
Oh, are you
one
talking about De Blasio?
was he the mayor?
Wasn't it him?
The one in Staten Island?
The one that got dropped on his head.
Did the mayor drop him? Because if
Yeah.
so, then yeah.
The mayor dropped him. It was a cover up. Legit, they said that he died of natural cause or something. I just saw that like
So
yesterday.
this is your cue. Your cue is completely Groundhog based.
We're G and on Groundhog. And
You only believe in conspiracies that are either about or somehow tangentially connected to Groundhog's
Do we have
Day.
a fact checker on the show? Can they just Google Groundhog Gate really quick so I can get some credibility back?
Tell you what, we'll have our intern go through the data and tweet something about Groundhog Gate.
Please do, because there's a story there. Some mayor dropped some groundhog on their head and killed it.
There's a story there. I think the world is ready for the truth.
I think it can come out now.
Oh no. Well, we're heading about that time where we end the show. So I had an idea and it doesn't work for you.
Oh.
So we made it a few weeks ago where I was going to like and follow all of our guests. However, the TweetCap already does that because Rocky is our super fan. So instead, Rocky, I will give you the honors of selecting anyone on Twitter for the TweetCap to like and follow. We can even tweet something.
Really?
Like, yeah.
This is a big deal. I can pick anybody.
I mean, the intern has power over the Twitter account. They could just ignore you, but
can you follow Ben Shapiro?
Sure.
The look on your face. No, you don't have to do that. I'm just joking.
No, it's too late now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna. Okay.
Anything I should say to good old Benji?
I don't know. Ask him about those Jewish space lasers.
Well, no, he's against it. He doesn't believe in the space lasers.
Yeah.
I may not agree with him, but I'm pretty sure he lives in the same planet I do.
I mean, you can ask him.
There you go. We'll go with the follow. You took
ask him if he'll be on the TweetCap.
Oh, it's too late.
No.
Too late. You should have said it sooner.
I just thought of it.
So before we head out, is there any other stories or anything else you wanted to talk about? The floor is yours.
No, this is a lot of pressure.
It's not that much pressure. You could say no, and then it's back over to me.
Well, I'm not gonna just say no. That's me being a bad guest. I gotta think of something.
I don't have to. I think we've had a good conversation.
Some would say productive.
Oh no! Ooh.
Maybe we're not allowed to say that.
We're not allowed to utter that word.
No, we can't say productive.
Founder is still listening.
I mean, no. Today it's been a really slow news week.
It has, which is good. This is what we wanted, or what I wanted for the entirety of last year, was news. Several weeks where I didn't have that much to talk about. That being said, that was before I had to talk about trending topics in the news every Thursday. So if we could pick it up just a little bit, that would be great. But no, in all seriousness, I think this is the equilibrium. This is what it's supposed to feel like. You know, one or two fun stories, a couple of, maybe more serious stories, and then nothing else. Super Bowl is this Sunday. Do you have a prediction?
There's going to be a game.
Excellent insights. This is definitely your premier location for sports information.
I'm wearing my Bills hoodie, so
Oh,
I love football.
I won't put you on the spot and make you name a Buffalo Bill player.
Bill himself.
Bill.
Darren should whisper me names. I obviously know who Josh Allen is, Darren.
There you go. I mean, that was a gimme. I was like, I hope he can at least say Josh Allen.
Can I say OJ? I should have had you
former Bill.
OJ.
He's a former Bill.
Always a Bill. Once a Bill, always a Bill.
I guess. He's an interesting follow on. Oh God, that's what you were just manning. I should have followed OJ on
You should
Twitter.
follow OJ.
No, I think
Hey, Twitter
the
world.
the intern may have blocked that idea, or maybe not. I mean, OJ probably come on.
I mean, yeah, he's got enough.
Get a few more views, a couple more downloads. I think we can get OJ Simpson on the show.
He's free.
He is free in every sense of the word. He's free.
Yes,
But I will say this to everyone who's listened to us through all of this. Thank you for listening to this episode. We are obviously kind of on our back foot a little bit. I won't mince words. However, we do have a new format going forward. So starting next week, we will be live on YouTube every Thursday. So that means we will no longer have, Friday podcast release, then over the weekend, the YouTube release. Instead, it's going to be the podcast and the YouTube coming out almost simultaneously. Rocky, you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. I didn't want to interrupt you during this.
Yep, no worries. Your screen just went blank. But anyway, so like I said, YouTube is going to be live starting from now on, a live stream. And then the next day on Friday, we will have the regularly scheduled podcast release like we always do. And that's on Spotify. That's on Apple. It's basically anywhere that you find your podcasts, including now iHeartRadio. So if you don't listen to us, but iHeartRadio is on your, phone or on your desktop, whatever, give us a listen there. And as always, thank you for listening. And thank you for being a part of the TweetCap family. And we look forward to this new setup. Sometimes I'll have lovely guests like Rocky. Sometimes I'll be all by my lonesome talking about the big stories of the day. So it's going to be an adventure, but I'm excited for it. Matt is excited for it. He can't wait for his first episode back. And hopefully you're excited about it. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for being here, Rocky.
Anytime. It's my pleasure. Long time, first time.
Not first time, but all right. And thank you, everyone, for listening to the TweetCap.
Bye.
Bye.